fast money is the devil.
Is this paranoid?
I hope so.
So look, fast money is the devil. And today I wanted to talk about the influence and impact of money in different aspects and avenues of life, from sports and entertainment to education to, just present day. You feel me? Like money has a hand in everything that we do. So I don't like talking to myself, and I wanted to bring somebody new and fresh to the area. My boy Mike is in town. Appreciate you coming through. Milwaukee, Charlotte, New York, been all around the world. Tell the people who you are and what you do, just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm Mike. Obviously, I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Went to school in Charlotte for 4 years, and now I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, of all places.
Crazy.
Yeah, I work in financial services. I'm working my way up there, and I think this is a great episode for to talk about, like,
between you and I, between all three of us, you feel me? The camera cut off like 8 minutes of the episode, so we duplicating the good conversation we did. We're gonna jump right into it. How do you view money? So, like, for me, I view money as a vehicle. It gets you from A to B. It gets you to accomplish things, but it can also be a tool too. You use money to accomplish things and obtain things that you need in life. You said it best, and you're gonna say it again. You can't live without money, but it is not the end all be all.
I think that money's what you make it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are, if you're a type of person that's like live for the moment and
Right.
You don't care if it's your last dollar, but you want to have fun, that's your prerogative, you know what I mean? But there's people who are a little bit on the other side of the spectrum where it's like, I'm going to wait, I'm going to save, or I'm not going to do this. I'm going to deny myself of this experience right now because it might pay off in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Or then there's people who do a little bit of both. But I think that at the same time, I think we give money a little bit too much of value. And people put a lot of stuff after money. Like they put a lot of their dreams on hold, or they put their family or their friends, anything, they put money in front of that. They're like, which can be a good thing, but I think overall, I think it might be a net negative.
Net negative. That's a good way to look at it. So how do you think that money has influenced, like, you're an athlete. How do you think that money has influenced the world of sports? As an athlete, as a consumer,
Right.
We see just how money has, really had a play in the evolution of how we play sports, how we view sports, and how we even attend like sporting events. Sports betting, gambling, all the things, they were banned when we were kids.
Right.
And now to see it back is kind of interesting. What do you think about that?
I think that a lot of good was done with the whole NIL thing. I didn't get to benefit from that. I was at a small D2 school. We were really good.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
Yeah, I see some of your highlights. I'm going to put it right here.
you can put it right there. All right, man, we're going to have to pick and choose the highlights.
I'm going to your huddle.
Yeah. No, I don't even got it, man. Hey, first of all, anybody that is over the age of 22 and you don't play any sport anymore, take
Take
the
your huddle.
photo out
Take
your
it.
bio, man. It's over.
It's over.
Done with basketball. I will admit, I'm washed. But yeah, no, I think the NIL thing was a really good idea, and it's a great start. I don't think it should end there, because the payouts for athletes, it's still not.
Tremendous.
It's been tremendous, but it's not equitable.
What do you mean by that?
So really, the only people that are making a lot of money,
The top athletes.
yeah, is it makes sense. They bring in the most money. They get the most money. But then what about the guys on the team? There were guys on Georgia that were using their NIL money to pay for their teammates.
Teammates.
Yeah,
Scout, that's real.
food and stuff like that. That's real. But at the same time, like, what about those guys?
Why should they have to do that?
They spend the same amount of time. In my opinion, I think sometimes even the walk-ons, they work just as hard or harder because they're trying to earn a spot. You know what I mean? So then in college basketball, if you're not at, Duke, UNC, one of the Power 5 schools, you're still getting money. I mean, there's NIL collectives for each school with a big alumni base. There's going to be an NIL collective because you have to have that in recruiting.
Yeah, I seen it. Like,
It's a huge recruiting tactic at this point. If you're not going to be offering these guys more money to the next place, then you're at risk of losing players, or you're at risk of not getting the players that you want. And I think there's going to be a discrepancy in, high major Division I and low major Division I because of the money. People aren't going to want it. There's already the stigma between Division I and the mid majors and then Division II.
Right.
There's already that stigma about skill level and stuff like that, when it's really universally the same across both.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, those levels. And people are going to be like, well, there's no money here.
Why would
they want me to come play. I might have a great, chance of really showing that I can play and do X, Y, Z. But they might not go because they're like, this school's going to offer me more money.
And it's like, if I'm not making it to the league, I'm going to go where the cheddar at. So how do you feel? You say that the NIL deals, you overall think that the NIL deals are a good thing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the people that say that, college athletes shouldn't be getting paid and it's muddying the integrity of the sport?
I can see that side. I think it comes with good intention. I really does. I really do. I think it really does come with a good intention. Like, hey, you guys are getting a $250,000 full ride scholarship to a school to get your education. But at the same time, I don't think they see what all goes into that. Like when I was in school, first 6 weeks, first 8 weeks, you're getting up ass crack at dawn, 5:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go work out. And it's not just like regular workout. You're in there to die.
Y'all athletes are in great shape.
Our freshman year, we had this thing called boot camp, right? So you do the first 6 weeks of preseason conditioning, and then we got these, like 3 days a week, whereas you got these real tough workouts. And then you got practice 2 days a week. And then the last 2 weeks is just straight boot camp. And the first session starts at 6 a.m. Monday. It goes Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You do 30 minutes of conditioning stations. And then the last 30 minutes is just straight sprints. Right. And every morning it gets 8 minutes. It gets 8 minutes, 8 minutes earlier. And so you start 8 minutes earlier than the next one. So by the time you finish on Friday,
you already at 5 a.m. Sound like that.
Start at 5 a.m. So you gotta wake up at 3:40, 4 o'clock, get all up, go to the training room. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. So if you ever want to play college basketball or a college sport at all, come in shape.
For sure.
Come in shape. And come knowing that you're going to have to work your ass off, because there's nothing sweet about it. But to get back on topic, there's that goes into it. Then you got to go to class.
You got to go to class.
I had those workouts. My junior year, we go through boot camp. Just got done running up and down the court 100 times. I got to go to class at 8.
Must.
No.
I'm about to say.
No, I'm taking that shower. Every time. I don't care if I'm late. That shower is getting taken. Like, I'm doing it. But, then you got to deal with your teachers. So, I was a finance major and at a small school. So there was like no just coming to the class, sitting in the back, big lecture hall. Classes are like 15 people at most 20. So I guess
that smaller school.
What is that?
Is that small school?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So
I was learning though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I loved it.
That's right.
But the bad thing is you can't just sneak into class.
No,
teachers care. I had a teacher that really cared about punctuality. So if you came in late, he would stop everything he's doing and look at you, walk from the door to your seat like this.
Damn.
And then he would go, I can't even remember what I'm doing.
And this is in Queens.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, that's always fun. So you got to go through class, then you can have some time as college. You got time in the middle of the day to go relax. But then, if you really love it and you want to be the best, you can go back and get shots up, or you're going to go to the training room, or, you're going to do something else to better yourself. And so there's a lot that these boys are putting into it, man. And for these schools that are getting the revenue off of it, they should be able to see some of that. I think that should go off of all sports. I mean, I think they just either up the stipend. That I think all schools should either offer a stipend.
Should they give them a pay?
Or yeah. I think
I'm gonna agree, because it's these athletes are drawing in millions of dollars for some of these big. Because these schools are also corporations,
right?
You feel me? some of these athletes are drawing in tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, especially for a 4-year, if they stay all 4 years, like the coach is making half a mil plus, maybe more. Some of them making multi-billion dollars because of their draw.
Well, look,
they're drawing talent and attention. Why the students ain't getting none of that little piece of the pie? I get that, you give them a scholarship, you give them an opportunity.
Right.
But it's like, for the longest, they wasn't seeing nothing that. They was getting taken care of. Yeah, it's a great opportunity, but it's like, it's not proportional.
Right.
If I'm bringing in, imagine Zion, or like, who's another really, really big college athlete, or somebody like Bronny right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bronny is bringing in
Shador Sanders.
Shador. That's crazy.
I know. He just got a KFC commercial.
Yeah. I'm like, his bag is deserving. You feel me? He like said it.
And for that.
You know what? You can't say nothing to that.
I don't know what you said to that.
You meme for life.
I don't even know what.
Somebody, you know what?
You got it. You win. But
my fault, big bro.
Hey, but you know that like in a lot of states, the highest paid public official, or like not public official, but public like state paid person is coach. It's usually like a basketball coach or a football coach.
I know. I remember at George Mason, I think Dave Paulson or something like that. His house was right next to the damn governor's.
Really?
Yeah. Like, and if you ever been through like Northern Virginia, Loudoun County, like them is some mega mansions out there. Like Paulson was getting paid very well.
Yeah.
But he been had long money from like other places too.
I mean, even at my D2, my coach was getting, because we were really good, my coach was getting paid a good amount of money. So like, there's a lot of money. There's money. If they want to pay people, there's money. Sure. It's never been a thing where there's not enough money. Now, I don't think it should come out of the students' tuition, or if the school starts raising tuition on kids.
Yeah, it shouldn't come out of like the whatever the alumni donation is or whatever. It should come from whatever the endorsement deals like you get. You feel me?
Right.
Or maybe even like ticket sales or something, jersey sales, whatever, if they have it. But it's like something. Somebody a little piece of pie. It don't gotta be nothing egregious. Like, you feel me? A nice little stipend, fattened stipend.
Right.
On top of what you already got for like, school supplies and whatnot. Like, cause like I don't know what Jay was doing out there, but it's like, all the gear you guys get, and then like, they had like a basic life stipend or whatever for like food. Some guys at some bigger schools, they could buy cars with their shit, but it's like,
yeah, we didn't get a stipend, man. Sadly, we didn't get a stipend. That was like, that was so demoralizing at times. It's like, I'm broke. What bro said from Lottery Ticket?
Which one?
Oh man, at the end of the movie, he said, I'm broke.
We gonna put it in. We gonna put it.
Anyways, like this shit's just kind of crazy. And I think it also was crazy. We learned that like people were placing bets on us and players, and it's like I think like
could y'all even gamble?
No, we couldn't gamble. No, the NCAA is on. They don't even let you do like a friendly like wager between like Super Bowl. Like, you're not supposed to do that either.
That's whack.
Right, and you got people making. If my boy, the point guard, if he gets like 9 assists, right, then somebody's making some money. Where's his cut?
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like gambling on college sports shouldn't be a thing because you can't see a dime of that. And they're hitting him up. If he doesn't hit his mark, if they bet it on him, they're in his DMs like talking like, bro, what the heck? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You made a point earlier where it's like that, people are now choosing to go to other schools based on their NIL allotment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that applies the concept of like, fast money? Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, some people really get tied up in that. Actually, no, let me back up. When you went to, you said you were going to James Madison, but then there was, fiasco. We don't got to talk about it. Then you got to Queens, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you got there, was your dream like, all right, was you one of them like, all right, I'm going to make it from this D2 and we're going to get to the league somehow? Or did you go in knowing that like, all right, I'm going to get this degree and I'm going to make it work afterwards? What was your philosophy?
I think once I really got to practicing and seeing how good those guys were, it's not that I felt like I couldn't be that as good or anything. I just knew that with everything that happened with James Madison and the injuries I was playing through, I just had a feeling like you're not going to want to go overseas. Overseas is so cutthroat. I saw that as like really my only viable option to play professional basketball and as a freshman.
Right.
And so I knew I didn't love it enough to keep playing through injuries, and like basically my calves didn't expand correctly, and so it would like cut off blood flow, and so I'd be out there playing, I can't feel my feet
on dead foot.
Yeah, like crazy stuff, and I don't know how I really put up with it, to be honest with you. Like I was just that crazy in love with basketball.
Before the procedure or after?
That was before the procedure. Now, like it would flare up a little bit after the procedure, and the pain wasn't as bad after both surgeries. But I don't know. I like sit down. I'll like sit down and think today. I don't know how I did it, but I think it was just that crazy about basketball. And then what happened with James Madison when they took my scholarship for my injury, I think it just gave me a huge reality check. That's like, you know what, man, you're putting your body through all of this for what? You know, for a chance to have a crack at the league or have a crack at going overseas. And I just knew that my career,
it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I just knew that like a career after basketball was most likely where I was going to be headed. So I just learned a lot about myself in my first year of college, and still worked my ass off, you know, because I'm a winner, you know what I mean? I'm competitive.
That's real. So I would say that, you know, hearing all this, because I don't got that perspective, you feel me? I would feel like it really, that fast money is the devil don't apply to like these new student athletes now that we do have the NIL.
Right.
Like, I don't blame some of these guys for chasing a check. If I know that I'm not going to the league, and like even before I get to college, or like, you know, everybody has hoop dreams, you feel me?
Right.
Like, I'm not going pro, or I have no aspirations to, like, you know, I'm using professional or amateur sports as a vehicle to reach higher. Like, you know, going to college is still an achievement. Like, you know,
yeah, that's for sure.
You feel me? Playing basketball and being a student athlete is student athlete. You feel me?
Right.
Athlete, we love the sports that we play, but getting a degree is still, that's high stuff. You feel me? So it's like, if I come in as a freshman, you know, you 18, 19 years old or whatever, some guys reclass 17 or whatever. It's like, and I know I ain't going pro, I'm damn sure going to make sure I go to a school where I can make the most money,
yep,
come out of that with my degree and some change in my pocket so that I can live my life the way I need to. Like, I don't blame them guys. But in other aspects, I'm looking at people like, you know, especially in like the content creation space, people really do get caught up in them dollar signs on the internet. I just stitched the video the other day. I was talking about, some guy asked, do you know anybody that is 25 or younger making $250,000 a year
right,
without working over 40 hours a week?
right.
And the answer is no.
Right.
The internet is so full of cap and crap.
Nah, for real.
And, you know, that's really poison for this younger generation, because it's like, you know, everybody rich on the internet, but in the reality, we poor as a generation. Like, you feel me?
Poor as hell.
But
we don't own anything.
Nothing. We can't afford anything.
We can't afford anything due to inflation. Like,
and we owe all this money. So it's like,
yeah, student debt. That's honestly the biggest blessing, is walking out of college with
no debt. That is a blessing.
That
yeah
was amazing, man. Like that was probably the biggest blessing that basketball brought. It's like, I don't have to start my life off paying
back foot. Man, I joined the Army. I'm still got debt.
Hey,
I hustle.
Yeah, you out there doing bullshit too. Like,
and I got injured. It's all right.
To get back to, like, I think we missed a huge mark in the sports and money thing.
Yeah,
it's the conference realignment. We've got.
Oh yeah. You did. You sending me something. I saw either you tweeted it or you posted like.
I think I posted it on my story.
That ACC one was crazy. That don't make no sense. But there's more to that.
I love college sports. I think I love the NBA. I love watching the NBA. I love the NFL. Go Niners. But
you know where you at?
Come on, man. Y'all, we can talk about it later, man. Y'all, I feel so bad for y'all. I'm rooting for y'all on the low though. But look, we've got Oregon, UCLA, USC. Is there one more big Pac-12 school that's going to the Big?
I ain't a big college football fan. I'm just
look. You got teams in California all the way on the West Coast going to play Ohio, Michigan.
It's a long flight, very long flight.
Now, for better TV contracts, because they're 3 hours behind, the East Coast, or is it 2 hours? It might 2-3 hours behind.
3 hours,
depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
they don't get as much TV viewership because, their games come on at 10. When it's
sleep.
I'm in that bed. I'm not watching
sure.
I'm not watching Bill Walton talk about
hell no.
bullshit the entire time. But yeah. So you got these execs making these decisions on behalf of student athletes.
But schoolwork, you're not doing it on the plane. Not like it's a PJ.
Man, they set up time sometimes, depending on the school and the program. They'll set up time when you land or wherever to do a little study hall.
You tired?
I'm gonna be honest. On buses or whatever trips, I got done a little bit of work, but nothing really productive.
I couldn't probably worse, ain't it?
And these are like really good schools. USC, really great school. Oregon,
UCLA,
UCLA, and then you got Cal, Berkeley, Stanford, and SMU going to the ACC. How's that gonna work?
Logistically, it don't.
How's it like? I really feel for these student athletes, man, and I really hope that like nothing really bad comes out of this. But I could definitely see a situation where, we're gonna have a big wave of negative mental health for these student athletes because, I wouldn't even know how scheduling would work with that. Do you play 2 teams and then, in that area, then come back? What do you do? You're gonna miss a whole bunch of class.
They're gonna have a bunch of waivers for stuff like that. Whereas like they might make things where it's like everything is just due at the end of the semester for those students, and then you get it could be a legal issue with that because it's like the grading is different, and then all the scandals that happen with college athletes, and so it's like. I don't know how they're gonna make it work, but we're gonna.
I'm praying for these kids
because like it's hard already being a student athlete,
right? And
then you're gonna add in extra travel to halfway across the country, if not all the way across the country. It's like it's just gonna make things miserable. You got assignments due, you got wear and tear on your body. On top of that, you
got to perform.
You got to perform at the highest level.
I'm saying this with in all seriousness. People think that. The classroom really mattered to me, and I can't say that all athletes think like this, but for those who really love the sport and in these high pressure situations, performing on whatever field or court you're on, a lot of the time takes precedence over schoolwork.
Probably all the time.
It happens, because it just feels like sometimes the stakes are bigger. Your whole livelihood. And you're, where you're at, your comfort zone, you're happy at the school that you're at. If you're not performing where you need to be, then you're not playing. Then let's say you're unhappy, then you got to think about transferring. So that's a whole nother layer of stuff.
It's also your reputation too.
Your reputation. Yeah. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And performing on the court or the field or wherever you're playing on is super, super important. Everyone that plays a college sport for the most part, takes that stuff seriously. So they're gonna put a back seat to the school shit. I could see a bunch of athletes doing that. Like, it's impossible. You know what I mean? We already miss a bunch of class anyways.
Do you think they lower the threshold for grades and student athletes? I don't even know if they can do that.
Not at Berkeley or Stanford. I think Aaron Rodgers had a story where a teacher wasn't giving him an extension on an assignment. Jaylen Brown, who also went to Berkeley, had the same thing. It was like a paper, like a huge paper. I can't remember how long, but he was like, he couldn't get an extension on it. Like, he had to work on that before the game. Or some crazy stuff.
I remember that Jaylen Brown one.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Aaron Rodgers had a similar story. So, some of these professors don't rot with athletes.
Yeah, because it's a pride thing.
And they probably had a bad situation with one or two in the past, or they already, have this idea that they're not going to do the work or whatever, But I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen, what's going to come of that. And also, like, it just makes sense to have geographical conferences.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not already.
Mm-hmm.
And, that might be the next thing that happens, in college and amateur sports, like, it has to be.
Here's my prediction when it comes to where collegiate sports and post-high school sports are going to go. I believe that, so for for like high school circuit and travel ball, you've got 3 big circuits. You've got the Nike EYBL, you've got the Adidas Gauntlet, and then you've got the Under Armour circuit. Yeah. I played on EYBL and I played on Under Armour circuit. These are the best players in the nation for the most part. There's a couple outliers that play on some other teams, but these are where all your guys are at. I think that I could definitely see a situation where the EYBL takes all of its teams and it turns it into like academies. So, you know, in Europe with their soccer academy.
Right.
I know for their football clubs, I could definitely see a system like that being here where they hire some of the best teachers they can get for each one. And then so they can have a legitimate school.
Is that kind of like what OT is doing, overtime?
Yeah, exactly.
With actual, you know.
Yeah, with you know, the bigger money, you know, shoe companies.
That's different.
Yeah,
I could see that happening.
It makes sense.
It's a market for it. It makes plenty sense.
Because kids are going to be like, why would I go to college, risk getting hurt, not get paid, you know, the money that I think I should be getting paid?
It'd be a direct funnel to the league too, because it's like, you know, it gives the league back their revenue and their share of athletes instead of having them just not try to go pro at all.
Right.
You know, there's a whole demographic of athletes that just want to be entertainers and social media people now. Gen Z is the richest, brokest generation in the history of all generations.
Right.
Why? Because I don't even, Lily, you in finance, I don't even really understand money and how it works, but I understand the social effects. That's what I do. I look at how things affect people,
right,
and how they interact with each other. Why is Gen Z so broke and rich at the same time?
I don't think it's broke and rich. I think we are all, the majority of us are at a certain level, and then we see a couple of people that are either at that level or capping. I think that, you know, social media gives you this perspective, and it's always been, we've noticed this about social media from the start, like at least since like 2013, when Instagram first started really getting popping and stuff like that. Like, people are only going to show you
what they want to show you.
And you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of these guys that are out here flexing like, oh, I make $500,000 a month day trading. You know what I mean? Like, I do this, and that. I've got a Rolls Royce. Yep, doing that right there.
Who, bro?
Doing that right there.
Yeah, you got some too.
I'm good, man. I don't need your bread.
You can't do it. This NIL money, bro. Come on.
Hold on. Post a money spread. What professor be saying on TikTok? Post a money spread. And
light. It's light. What's
light, man?
You don't got no money on you, done young. This was
just your money up, not your funny up.
They don't even. You see, because look, it's fake.
Yeah, I know.
You know. Why you say it? Why you say it?
I know when you pulled out from under the thing.
I looked up the other one. That was real over there.
Oh yeah.
See, you don't believe.
I'm a hater at heart. I'm gonna need to see it. Coupled with that, and then on top of that, we've got, you know, just inflation. Government spending is crazy,
astronomical.
And then on top of that, we've got corporations where CEOs are making billions and billions of dollars while regular people like you and me aren't seeing a lick. I heard this quote a long time ago. I don't know who it's from, but it's like, money isn't the root of all evil. It's the pursuit of money that leads to the evil. What do you think about that?
Money isn't the root of all evil, but it's the pursuit of money. I guess it goes back to how you view it. You said money is what you make it. So if you make money evil, it's evil.
Right. If you do a nefarious activity
with the money,
to
get to the money, then it's evil. My thing is, like, you know, I would say I agree with it, because, like, you know, that the phrase money is the root of all evil or whatever, that comes from the Bible, but it ain't really in the Bible. You know, I think is a Hebrew word. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. I don't know what it is, but it's not actually related to money. It's just about like it's greed, it's glut.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, basically that desire, right? Impure desires. That's what is the root of all evil, which goes to your point. So I would agree.
Yeah, I think
money ain't the root of all evil.
Yeah, it's people. Like I told you earlier, money's what you make it. We give money its own value. We give things their own value. And I mean, the sad thing is though, you need money to survive.
To survive,
you need money to do physically anything, and that's why when you have impoverished areas and stuff like that, or you have a generation of people who have been kept away from that money, they're doing God knows what to get there. That's why you're seeing an abundance on social media of get rich quick schemes. And
the Cash App flips.
Cash App. If you fell for the Cash App flip though, that's your fault. Nobody's turning $10 to $100 in a matter of minutes. You're just dumb. I'm sorry.
You late to it. I'm talking about new flip. You
remember that whole surge of people's Instagrams getting hacked and stuff like that? Like, come on now, y'all compromise your Instagram and your social media and possibly your files, anything about you.
Shit.
To turn 10 to 1,500?
Ski. To wrap us up, what would be your message to Gen Z on the pursuit of money?
On the pursuit of money. Do what makes you happy, man. My mom, she's a administrator, and worked. I don't know. She just retired. She made a good amount of money as a elementary school principal.
Mm-hmm.
Started out as a teacher, and she loves kids, man. It's like, it wasn't her first choice when she went to college or anything like that, but she learned to really love it. But it's tough, and when she would come home some days and be like, man, I hate it, like, or stressed out, staying up until 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 at night, finishing schedules. And, I could see what that was doing to her. Do something that makes you happy. I feel like if you can make money doing something that makes you happy, do it. If you need to stop and work and build up some money to get to where you need to go, then do that. But don't just pick a job because
it pay well.
If you hate it, then what's the point?
It won't.
I feel like matter. Working is not like, I feel like humans, we need something to do. And I think that work plays a huge part in that. But if work is your life, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't live to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You shouldn't.
But work
to live.
Work to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't take up more than half of your time. I don't think. That should honestly be less of your time. But that's a different story. So, like, my thing I would say is just like, you got to focus on what matters in your life. Kind of like what you're saying. Do what makes you happy. That's definitely my philosophy. If it stresses me out, I don't do it. That's just me. It's like, but also at the same time, nothing is a rush. Like,
we're young, man.
It's really not. Even though, time is limited and, not everybody gets to live until they're 80, 90, 100, whatever. Even some people don't even make it to 50. It's a blessing if you make it to these ages. But it's like, maximize your time, but it's not a sprint. And you're not in competition with anybody else in life.
No.
Not even yourself. As long as you get to your destination, you're a success in anything that you're doing. So, like, especially for my fellow content creators out there, please don't look at social media. Like we said, it's a lot of cap and it's a lot of crap. Gen Z wholly across the board is poor. You're not behind, you're right on time.
You're right on track.
Right on track, and you're doing exactly what you need to do. So just take your time. Take it slow. You're not behind, and there's no rush to make this money. Because in 10 to 15 years, there's going to be plenty of it.
Right. And if something isn't working, you know what I mean? You got to change. You got to look to, if something isn't working for you, you can't be a psychopath and just keep doing the same things over and over. I'm sure, like, this is your dream, and you've had to not alter your dream, but change your direction on the way to get there. Yeah, because you're noticing, okay, this isn't really working for me. I need to switch it up. You can't devote all your energy to that. And then another thing, advocate for yourself, man. Advocate. There's a bunch of jobs out there that you don't have to be as qualified as you think.
Sure don't. Oh, man, I done got my way into some positions just because I had, the guts to apply for it. Nobody else applied for it. Scholarships, grants, whatever. Put your name in the hat and see what network. See what goes on from it. Because, like, even if you don't get the job, you might have met a recruiter that can put you onto a different position. That's literally how I got this job.
Yeah, and also in terms of advocating for yourself, if you don't feel like you're being compensated enough, talk to your coworkers. Get your coworkers involved. Unionize if you can. Bargain. It's like, what is it? I forgot the saying, but
salary transparency.
no, it's together we bargain, separate we fall, or something like that. I probably
got a lot of quotes
that I probably screwed that up real bad. But the premise of it, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't feel like you're being compensated fairly for what you do, and nobody else in the office does either, get organized. Find it. You don't have to be the leader, but just talk around the office, see how everyone is feeling. Because I feel like we can take a lot of the power back in Gen Z, and we see the material condition that a lot of us live in, and we can make it better for everybody. We just have to be more of a collective. I think we think too individually and have the individual mindset. I think that if we convert our culture into like, it kind of like goes back to where I work. It's like, if I do well, Susie does well. If Susie does well, I do well. If we both do well, the firm does well. So, you know, if you keep that individualist mindset, man, like, you're gonna be the biggest hater of all. That it just leads you down that path of like seeing everybody else making more money than you or anything like that.
And it's a very miserable path. It is when you instead of looking in your lane, looking at everybody else's lane and compare yourself. Comparison is definitely the thief of joy. But yeah, that's the half of their show. Appreciate you coming on, man. Education, entertainment, everything in between. New episodes coming next week, the week after, the week after. See y'all next week.